Hey you guys, Charlie here. Welcome back to Conquering Kerbal Space Program. Here we have the second flight for Frankenplane. There's no mission or anything, I just wanted to have it kind of in the air to kind of update you here. We have a bunch of little additions here. I've added a few things. We've added a ladder so that we can get back on if we fall off. We've also added some lights on the plane as well. Fairly cool. Little lights here, and it's kind of strategically placed as well, because if we look inside the cargo bay has also been updated, which is nice. We'll take a look at that. The cargo bay has some new parts. We've got the hard drive, this big hard drive here, which I will show you how that works in a moment. I've also replaced the 4 batteries that were 400 each, so it was 400, 800, and then 1600 total because of both sides. I've replaced those 4 batteries with these 2 batteries, which each hold 1200, so more electric charge on the outside, and they kind of fit like a glove, you know, in this little cargo bay. I kind of liked it. So that's pretty cool. Of course, we have the mech jeb, and I'm seeing some symmetry problems there. Yep, gonna have to fix that. And then also we have the TAC life support canisters here, which is pretty cool. Also some symmetry problems there, unfortunately. I did forget, I wanted to put the Communitron 32, which is kind of stashed over here. I wanted to put that right here, or over here, somewhere like to where it wouldn't be sticking out. But unfortunately, I kind of forgot about it, so I'll move that as soon as I land. But I'll move that. But this is gonna actually kind of protrude, if you will, through the door where it is, so I need to move it. Either that or I put a Communitron 16 there, but really it's kind of a weird spot for the antenna anyway. So the hard drive is pretty cool. This science hard drive here, it's like the other little ones, except this one holds 480 and it's just a single part. And why I have this is because this science experiment here, this atmospheric analysis, this takes a long time to transmit, and it takes a lot of battery power to transmit too. So like I transmit this, and you'll see the battery power it takes to do it, and the time it takes to do it. And because we don't have like a really like foolproof satellite network, I'm actually gonna I'm getting a little high here. Because we don't have like a foolproof, if you will, satellite network up yet, sometimes we won't have a signal. And so what this will allow me to do is to store experiments in the hard drive, so I can get it out of the parts, and then I can reuse the experiments because the experiments no longer have the science like stored in it, which is kind of nice. I'm actually going to turn around here and go back to the KSC. So let's turn around. We also have the island airfield over here. I could try to land on the island. Do you want to land on the island? I think we should try and land on the island. The island is actually, to me anyway, it's harder to land on. The runway is much shorter, so it's a little harder to land on. I may not actually be able to do it, but I'll give it a try. Anyway, why not? Wow, I'm coming in really hot here. I'm not sure I can land on this runway. This is gonna be difficult. It's really difficult to land here, but we're gonna do it. So yeah, we're going in for a landing here. Let's see if I can still control this. It did adding those parts to it, the additional batteries and the 2 big batteries and the hard drive actually adds a little bit of weight to the craft, but the hard drive is up further back towards the middle, so it doesn't add like a whole lot of front heaviness, and the plane is still fairly controllable, still fairly stable despite having the extra weight at the front there like that, so it's pretty good. Okay, coming in here. Man, oh man, oh man, it's gonna be tight. Gonna be tight. Ooh. Oh, pick it up, pick it up. Oh, drop it down. Oh. We are landed, island runway. Oh, please stop. Stop in time. Come on, brakes. Ooh, yeah, we did it. Yep, on the island runway. Very nice. Cool. So anyway, this episode is not about the plane. I just wanted to kind of give an update and show you guys kind of that I added some things and whatever. So let's talk about what this episode today is really about. and that is our moon mission. Okay, so here is Moon Science 1, orbiting the moon. And we have biome information from ScanSat ready to rock. Let's grab the big map here. I want to do the moon, or make sure, whoops, not the sun, the moon, please. I do want to also do biomes. We have the biome map of the moon complete, and so we can choose our landing spot now, which is a very fortunate reality. The problem, though, I'm not going to wait for this whole thing to load. Just know that the whole thing is done. It takes a while for that to load. The problem with that, though, actually, you know what? I can just do this, because the little one tends to load faster than the big one. Maybe it's the size thing, I don't know. Yeah, it's all done. So the problem with landing, though, is going to be that we don't have a whole lot of fuel in this tank. Okay, we need more. The delta V we currently have in that stage is just 210 meters per second, which is not enough to do what we need to do. It's just not. So I've decided we're going to do a refueling mission, and we're going to bring some fuel out and plop it in that tank. It would normally not be possible. Well, I mean, we could pop a port on, I guess. I guess it's not technically impossible, but I did, for just ease of use sake, I do have a CCR2 port on the ship. I think it's only one of them, and this is probably the only one. So we're gonna have to get ourselves next to this port, within 20 meters of this port, with another ship, so that I can hook it up and dump some fuel into this tank. And I need to get, I'm thinking like maybe 700 meters per second of delta V would probably be more than adequate. So I'm gonna kind of try to aim for 700, which means I need about, well, I don't know, we have 210 with this much fuel. So if I just use like, whoa, yeah, the lights, I don't know what's going on with the lights. So if 500 and, is that an 85? Yeah, 585 fuel, if that equals 210 meters per second, then if I just kind of use 600 as a guideline, I need about 1,500 units of fuel brought out to this ship to get what I want. You know, give or take a little bit. But so as long as I can get here with 15 units of just liquid fuel, not oxidizer, just liquid fuel, if I can get out here with that much remaining, then cool. So let's go ahead and do that. Before we do, though, let's take a look at the Science Center here. We have only 8 sciences in here. I just transmitted a little while ago, so that's probably why. We're able to do 10.3 per day. We're down to 548 data, and I do not have any more science that I can put in here. No more science experiments available to put in here. What is going on with that? Is it just my lights on my ship that's doing that? Because that's just weird. I don't know. I'm not going to complain about that. I already did. Anymore. I'm not going to complain about it anymore. Let's go back to the Space Center and check out what I've been working on. Okay, guys, we're here on the launch pad, and here is the refueler. Pretty self-explanatory here. It's just a big ship with a whole bunch of thrust, and we are going to go and refuel the moon. We do have a side objective that we'll do after the moon, because we're going to have a lot of fuel left even. I can't imagine using it all. So I'm actually going to somewhat prep a trip to Minmus, sort of kind of prepare our mining operations, if you will, for Minmus. So we'll give that a shot. SAS on, thrusters all the way up, and let's go. So like I said, we're going to prep Minmus for our mining operations. And essentially what that entails, or what that means, is I'm going to drop this big fuel tank with all the liquid fuel that's in it, whatever's remaining anyway. I'm going to take it to Minmus, and I'm going to drop it down in an area that is kind of where we might land for mining operations. Because our resource scanner is, I think, done. So we can look and see where our landing spot is going to be for our mining stuff, where the actual base and Minmus will be located. And I'm going to aim for something that's fairly close to the equator. That's usually a good practice, I think. This rocket features a new engine we haven't used before, although a lot of people have. This is the mainsail. You can see it's definitely been retextured. It definitely looks different. I like it. I'm kind of digging this whole silver and black look for rockets. I'm going to kind of maybe stick with that. I know it's not like colorful or whatever, but I'm thinking it just looks classy. It just looks high tech to me. So I'm gonna stick with it. It's got like kind of a titanium look to it, you know, like it's pro. Like we are pros at this whole space thing. That's what it kind of reminds me of. This top section here, you may have noticed the command pod and stuff. There's a little tiny tank and engine here and stuff. I'll get to that in when it's time. But for now. I mean, you know the objective. We're bringing this fuel, and we're going to land it on Mimbus, and sort of give us a container to put fuel in. That's just going to be kind of sitting on the ground. That's what we'll use it for now. And then once we have sort of an official capacity, if you will, an official setup for storing fuel that looks a little cleaner or whatever, then we'll recycle this for parts and stuff. We'll get all this stuff here, the nuclear engines and everything. We'll recycle all that stuff. So that'll be cool. But for now, that will be the fuel that we'll have. If we need to refuel and we're like, oh man, I don't know if we can make it, well, go to this tank and pull the fuel out of it. And there's a bunch of RCS. There's a bunch of monopropellant in this as well. So it's going to work pretty well, I think. It'll be all right. So what I'm hoping here is that this stage will take me almost to orbit. And then we can decouple it because there's a bunch of parachutes on this, and I would like to get my money back for this and have it not become space junk. So I think I'm going to stop this. We have basically no fuel left in this. In fact, it looks like it is out. Wow, I stopped the engine manually there, but it's already out. Cool. We'll decouple this then. And some of the stuff explodes. Look like some of the stacked decouplers, or some of the decouplers exploded. Okay. Whatever, dude. We are going to control from the probe core. No, I want to control from here. Oh, it's not going to let me. Let's get some of our panels out here so we don't lose electric charge. Why am I focused over here? Like, what is with the camera? Why is it doing that? Alright, camera. Thank you, weirdo. Start these engines. Let's get away from that junk. There we go. And so that stuff will fall into Kerbin's atmosphere and burn up and probably not be saved, but whatever. Control from here. Thank you. That's what I want. Okay, so let's just get into orbit, and then I'll kind of explain the tentative game plan here. Point ourselves down. We've got a ton of Delta V in this. This refueler is meant to like refuel like 4 or 5 ships in one pass. It's gonna be beefy, man. Yeah, 7,000 Delta V in this. And that stage takes you almost to orbit, enough to where you really don't have to spend all that much fuel to get to orbit. And the hope is that we recover all of that stuff, that we get like most of our money back for all that stuff. Okay, we're in orbit now. Not the most circularized orbit, but it's not bad. I've had worse. I've had worse. We're just inside 70,000 right now. 70,000 meters is where we are. And 95. Actually, you know what? I might want to circularize this. Let's see where the moon is. Yeah, because the moon is... Are we inclined right now? I hope not. Hold on. Set the moon as a target. 0.05. You know, that's not bad. I don't care. We are going to have to burn near the apoapse. But I think I might be able to bring the apoapse down. Why would I want to do that? I don't know. Something tells me that being lower gives you better fuel efficiency, but I think like the fuel spent to do that would just be a waste, so never mind. It's a dumb idea. Let's go this way. And pretty close here. Alright, let's bring it this way. Get those two things to line up. And there we go. Whoop. 23,000. That's pretty close. I don't know if it will be... Well, we can adjust it later, but I don't know what the inclination and stuff will be for meeting up with the other ship, but we'll take it anyway. Face towards the node, and we'll execute that burn. Done. I'm not going to let you chase the stupid node. You're done. All right, so 54,000 is where it's going to end up being. And actually, let's get that kill rotation command gone, because I don't want to deal with it. Okay, cool. 54,000 meters is where we're going to end up being around the moon. So I think we just time accelerate until we get there. I could do it that way, or I could go to map view and click these little arrows that warps us to the sphere of influence change. Huh? 1.1, man. Got some nifty features in 1.1. This is supposed to go faster. I think it's because I was too close to the Kerbin at the time. Go. That's better. I was locked to the maximum speed that I could be around Kerbin at the time, so. Okay, time warp is going to end right now. We have the sphere of influence change. Everything's peachy. Let's check out what we've got going on here with the orbit of our ship. So the target ship is here, and the orbit is going this way. So I need to match that. So I guess the first thing I'm going to do is right about here in 1 minute. That's fine. Let's burn down like this. So at least we can kick our orbit to come in at the right angle. And I'm going to make the moon the focus here, because I like to focus on the moon for this. I'll focus on the planet that I'm orbiting for this. Okay, so let's bring this to be... We want this to kind of be down where it's going to be the same, roughly same angle. Am I getting too close here? I am a little close, and if I'm going to adjust my incline later, I want to be a little farther away. So let's also burn retrograde. Is that going to bring me? I mean, it is bringing me farther away, but it's not quite doing what I want. I think I want the radial instead. Yeah, that's what I want. So let's bring myself out to like maybe here. I need to bring this down though, like that. Okay, that's where we'll burn next. Let's get that into the flight computer. Oh shit, it's gonna happen in 24 seconds. I gotta hurry. Go, go, go. Get up there, get to the node. Might have to cancel this. It might not make it in time. Oh, it's gonna be close. Get there. Get there. Oh, I think we got it just in time. Yeah, just in time. Look at that node. Whew. That was pretty close. All right, so this will burn 121 something to adjust this. That's not a big deal. We have tons of fuel. Get ourselves all the way down. This won't capture us. It does, I think, adjust the orbit though in a way that makes it less, we have to burn less to get captured now though, so I think it's okay. Okay, so now from there, I'm gonna set this as the target, and we can see that the ascending node is just after our periapsis. So when we burn to get captured here, I'm wondering if it's better to burn here at the ascending node instead of the periapsis. If I did that, I could adjust the orbit while simultaneously getting captured. So let's see about doing that. We'll bring the orbit in to get captured like that. But when we do it, we want to do it in a way that gets us the same inclination as the target, like that. So now we'll be captured. We'll be a little bit far out, but that's okay. We'll be captured with the same inclination as the target. So we'll do that. Let's execute that maneuver in about an hour and a half. I'm going to be in this view most of the time, like focused on the moon. Our ship is here. So if you ever lose track, just look for the blue line. And then our target is this thing with the red circle or the red square around it. And if you, just as a recap, the red square, anything with the red square over it in the tracking view is a vessel that is being targeted by a contract currently, which this is. So that's the only reason why it's orbiting for so long, is because it's being targeted by a contract. Okay, so we're not going to burn at the periaps. That's what we didn't do anyway. We did not burn at the periaps. We are instead going to burn a little after it on the ascending node, so that we can get captured and adjust inclination at the same time. I think that will work out nicely. Here we go. Taking the burn. I could probably watch the ship for this. It's gonna be a little bit. Where is the moon? There it is. Hello. Okay, let's check out the orbit, and we are looking good. We have just 0.1 difference in our degrees in our orbit. So now it's about trying to figure out when I can get a rendezvous. Our apoapsis is here, but I want the point at which we are. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Let's make a maneuver at apoaps and see if I can do something that will influence when we meet. Right there. What's this? 22.6 kilometers. Okay, can I make that any closer? This is now 1.8 kilometer. Oh, wow. This will be the smoothest I think I've ever done this kind of thing. It's pretty damn good. But I'm greedy. Can I get it better? 0.7 kilometers. A little bit more. 0.5. Oh man, I'm so greedy. 0.5. 1.7. Okay, bring it back to where it was, which is like -627, I think is what it was. 29. Oh wow, 0.4. Yeah, oh, I'm done being greedy. We're taking that. 6.3 meters per second of delta V. Just a quick 6.3 meters per second burn will get us 0.4 kilometers away from the target. We'll have a relative speed that's pretty high because our orbit is way different than the target, but that's okay because I have engines and they are useful for such a thing. So let's time accelerate. Get ourselves around. Hopefully the flight computer does not overshoot this. I would very, very much like to be 400 meters away from the ship. With, I guess technically this is less than one orbit. We'll meet up here, and we started our orbit here. So, yeah. Less than one orbit, and we will rendezvous with the craft. Very cool. Let's get this burn going. Okay, I'll let it reset. 10 seconds till burn. I'm going to be watching you closely, flight computer. Don't you mess this up. It's a very precise burn. I'm ready to kill you if you get out of hand. Killed. I had to kill it manually. Look at that node. It's all flying over there. I keep my mouse on the kill button lately. Okay, so we're gonna be 0.5 kilometers. We got it. 500 meters. I'll take it. Yeah, that's great. So we will be very close. We're gonna switch to target mode. I So if you click off in the map view, if you miss this and you click over here or something, you lose your target. It's dumb. I don't like it, but whatever. Set as target. Switch to target mode here. Cool. And now it's just a matter of going around the moon. So let's time accelerate, and we'll go around the moon and meet up with them. Okay, you guys, we're orbiting around the moon right now. Switch to map view. That's us. That's the target. So let's get ourselves down. I'm trying to take this a little slower than usual. I don't want to... The worst thing that could happen is I hit time accelerate too quick. I'm going to stop it right here. And we'll check out what we got here. We have a 16-second burn to stop our velocity. And it's going to happen in about 4 minutes. So let's get ourselves target relative velocity. So I'm going to use MechJeb to help us out here a little bit. And I'm not really sure how I want to approach the ship yet. I just know that I need to get these ports within 20 meters of the other port. So we will see when I get there. I'm not sure. Let's time accelerate just a little bit. I don't want to go too fast. Ooh, okay. Come on. Look at it getting... Yep, there it is. Once this vessel gets about 2 kilometers away from us, I think it's rough, maybe it's 2.5, but once it gets about 2 kilometers away from us, the physics calculations start to apply to both ships, and so you end up with like all the different parts. Killing the velocity off. Killing relative velocity. Went a little bit too far. That's okay. Let's face prograde, and then I'll use the RCS thrusters this time to kill the rest of it. Okay, so we'll go backwards with the RCS, and there we go. All set. So now we need to face the target. We've killed our relative speed. It's going to come back. We're not close enough to where it won't necessarily come back, but for the most part, though, I mean, we're pretty close. So if we kill our relative speed when we're this close, our chances are our orbit is pretty much right on theirs. Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same orbit. So in fact, when we get over here, we'll still only be we're only going to float away another 300 meters if we just leave it alone. So not a big deal. Facing the target now. Let's go ahead and just use the RCS. Just push ourselves forward with these new RCS thrusters that actually have the capability of doing such a thing. And now we will be right on top of this thing. Very cool. Other than the sun being in our eyes, it's very cool. Let's go we'll face relative velocity backwards. I do think I need to come in with my butt, if you will, the butt end of my ship. I think I need to come in with that first, just because that's where all the ports are. I guess I could have put a port right here on the top of this instead of the docking port, just for this one mission. I did design this with the idea of reusing it over and over again, but so that's why the docking port's there. But honestly, I could have made one tiny adjustment for just this mission. It's not a big deal. It is what it is. Let's time accelerate to get to where we need to be. And it looks like we're just a little bit off now, but that's not a big deal. There's Moon Science 1. Gotta figure out which way it's oriented. If I remember correctly, it's actually floating around and rotating. Which it might be doing. actually. I might want to see about fixing that. Let's kill the relative velocity really quick. Yeah, this is going to be a challenge. All the rotating we're doing, it's kind of moving this. It's moving this point here. Okay, let's switch back to the science vessel. I want to make sure this is pointing the proper direction to get received well. So let's take and point orbital retrograde for a second. We'll get the butt end of this ship facing the butt end of that ship. And since we have a ton of nuclear, or since we have a ton of electric power, I'm actually going to retract these panels because I do not want to bump them by accident. So let's just retract all of them. We have a ton of electric power, right? Yeah, let's just retract all of them. Bring the solar panels in so we can't harm them, or at least we're less likely to harm them. Turn the lights on so we can see what we're doing. Oh, or is that off? Did I just turn them off? Yeah, I did turn it off. Okay, turn it on. Orbital retrograde. And you know what? If I set this, let's do this. Let's set this as the target. And then we'll just do target retrograde. I like that because this will then rotate with us. And then I'm going to kill it because I don't want this to continue to rotate to face us. I just want it to rotate this way and then stop. This might actually be good enough. This might be good enough. Yeah, this is good enough. Let's kill the rotation. Keep the rotation just like this. And then which side's the port on? The port is... please don't be the underside. It's kind of the underside. Didn't want it to be. So let's stop the... What are you doing? What are you doing? Kill the rotation, please. Let's turn this off, and then I'm going to rotate this so that it's on this side, on the outside side. There we go. Somebody is mowing their lawn just outside my window. Oh, there's the port right there. What am I doing? Mowing their lawn outside my window. So there's a good chance that you're going to hear a lawnmower for a little bit of this. Sorry about that. Not much I can do about it. Just imagine that it's a really funky sounding spaceship. The John Deere 3000. If that's a real thing, then it's totally a coincidence if that's a real thing. Okay, we have a relative velocity. I'm gonna kill it. I don't want to be moving in a direction that is unfavorable to what I want. Close enough. Face the target. Let's face away from the target, actually. I want the butt end of my ship going towards it. So let's face away from the target. Okay. I'm gonna control it from the... Should I control it from the docking port? I don't think it'll really matter. We're not docking, so... Let's proceed towards the ship here.